Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This month's theme is random, so I picked Starship Troopers in 1997, and we do episode 10 of Band of Brothers Points. And we bring you some movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, Ryan Preston.
And the old guy's here.
Who has the description of this movie?
I got this fantastic one. Humans in a...
It's so IMDb, it's real.
facetious, militaristic future do battle with giant alien bugs in a fight for survival.
Yeah.
I think they made up words.
They did. Well, actually, if you look at them, what they meant by...
I get what they meant.
Did you look at the uniforms again?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple...
You know, and I remember talking about it before, but the uniforms are so Nazi, it's unreal.
Well, they did it on purpose.
I know they did.
That was the one thing I liked about... was
to become a citizen.
On IMDb, they talked about that most of the uniforms, even imagery, had Nazi-esque, or, if I remember correctly, Hugo Boss, but I could be wrong.
Well, Hugo Boss.
Yes.
Bloody Nazi uniforms.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll tell you what, they were way cool. They had the better-looking uniforms.
Oh, yeah. No,
They did.
Snappy dressers. Let's
man.
I gotta say,
Bastards.
one thing about this cast, even though a lot of these people are unknown, they was actually pretty good. They had Clancy Brown, who played Sergeant Zim, 3 to 4 years earlier, was in Shawshank Redemption. Seth Gillum from The Wire. Rue McClanahan, which surprised the crap out of me, from The Golden Girls.
Yeah.
You had Neil Patrick Harris, Dean Norris, Robert David Hall. He plays the doctor, the coroner guy on CSI.
And this was before, what's her name, Denise Richards was annoying.
Yeah, and Amy Smart. The only two people, Casper Van Dien's done like 98 movies, still hasn't hit mainstream. And
And all of them, I think, are versions of Starship Troopers.
Well, there's like 3 or 4 movies, but he's done a lot of
yeah,
TV
like
stuff.
Beastmaster 3.
You know, he hasn't really hit mainstream, and Denise Richards is basically known as being the chick from, was it Wild Things?
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Which wasn't a good movie.
and
Everybody knows it from the Bond movie, but that's just
and Christmas Jones.
That doesn't really count.
And she's known as Charlie Sheen's ex-wife.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's so.
So,
like I said,
One of his witches that didn't make it.
I got her a lot of credit since she's an ex. If she'd still be with the guy, I'd take all that credit back.
That's true. That's true.
Apparently, the Warlock's magic did not stick.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the basic intro when they're in high school. I realized they had to set it up, but that part was always kind of.
You know, I think that added a lot to the movie.
It did add
time-wise. No, I wasn't saying context. I was saying it added a lot to the movie, and the time-wise, it was a long movie for what it was. 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Well, I'm saying it did add.
No wonder it was so painful.
It did add a little bit of context, even though I think it was unneeded. It kind of explained, you know, all their, like, apparently everybody in the movie went to that same high school, and you know.
Well, okay, so let's look at how they did. They all lived in regions. It was a totally different world. It isn't like it is now, right?
What would happen if the Nazis won?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly right, because they were from Buenos Aires, right?
Yeah.
And then there were people from different parts, and to become a citizen, you had to do service. So I think you hit it on the head. I think the Nazis won, and this is what we got.
Yeah. Got a world infested by bugs.
I did like the fact that every veteran in this movie has something wrong with them. Whether it's blinded or burn on their face, they're missing arms, they're missing legs. Wow. I liked the fact, because even a note on IMDb pointed out that it showed how cruel that really was. You know, how violence-oriented that society was.
Well, man, they were really, you know, big stinking bugs that just eat the heck out of you. I mean,
I don't think some of the veterans that he was introducing himself initially were fighting bugs.
No, yeah. I think they were just.
But what about the guy when he enlisted? Remember?
Yeah, I don't think that was
the guy
from
had
bugs.
no legs and no arms.
Well,
that was from bugs.
That's Robert David Hall. They see the thing. This never actually said it was from bugs.
Yeah,
though.
but
Ryan,
the assumption was
I
there.
don't think you can assume that. But
yeah.
So Ryan, you're pretty quiet over there.
Well, I don't want to jump all over you guys.
Since when?
Look, I love this movie for freaking years, man. It satirizes everything. You know, in like at least 11 different
even
things,
itself.
in the course of that 2 hours. One of which is war. I mean, I love that they sort of put it in with the advertisement, sort of letting you know how the world is. You know, that's
For more information.
Click more.
I loved, that was another part I like, was the RoboCop-esque kind of news breaks.
Yeah, I enjoyed those. I thought those added a lot to the movie. Now, the one thing that always pissed me off was the fact that, Rico got his leg chomped on by one of those bug things, and they put him in this vat that healed him. Why didn't they do that to the other guys that's missing limbs and arms?
I guess you got to be a high school football star.
Did it have to be at a certain time limit, or were they just crap out of luck because he was a rich kid?
Technology hadn't really been perfected in the first
World War III?
I actually think it had to do with potential. Maybe because of how he did in boot camp and the fact his teacher is going to be his new LT. Maybe there was a little kind of like, okay, this kid has potential. Let's save his life.
I don't know. That was one of the things that always kind of bugged me. I'm like, well, what is this dude doing there? And all these other guys are like, you're getting your limb hacked off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was such a goofy movie, man, and it wasn't. I don't think it ever tried to be anything smart or anything. It was almost. It lived in this dumb world of hey, here's some awesome, cool explosions. And
I bet what they did is they sat around and said, "Let's try another effect. Fill that vat full of green-colored water, and we'll throw the guy in there."
The funniest thing is, the funniest thing is this is based off an actual book. I mean, this isn't. And from what I've heard, the book's nothing like the movie.
But I also got to say, you got to give it to the Nazis for, perfecting the, what was it, Davy Crockett nuclear rifle. You know that? They actually had one that shot nukes.
Yeah,
that was a rifle.
That was actually the U.S. who did that, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Nazis stole the and actually
so now they have the
perfected
nukes.
No, that was
So
more.
that
was more like a Panzerfaust on steroids.
It was a nuke that apparently didn't give off radiation.
That
didn't kill everybody around there.
was another thing I was going to point out too.
How about the world's largest bullpup rifle?
Yeah.
I've never seen a bullpup rifle that big.
Yeah. But that was the fun thing about this movie is the different weapons that they had, the little fun things like that you had to kind of overlook that.
Well, dude, I mean, that's all this movie was kind of fun, tongue-in-cheek. The second you start taking it seriously or judging it on its sort of action qualities, it just falls apart at the seams.
And it does have one of my all-time favorite actors. I'll watch anything he's in is Michael Ironside. Because he's been in movies that are horrible, but somehow him being in it automatically makes it better. We're going to have to kill the sound effects for next episode.
But
my house, like, where the hell's that coming from?
That was from Michael Ironside.
The horrible thing is that they couldn't keep the movie quality for the rest of the series that they had after this. That was the shame thing to me.
But who was the director? Because I was actually reading somewhere.
Paul Verhoeven, wasn't it?
Paul Verhoeven. Yeah, Paul Verhoeven. He's had this happen a lot. I think they said he did RoboCop. Like, he's had a number of movies that he directed be very big, be very huge, box office.
Very campy and cult favorite kind of.
Yeah, like he did Total Recall. He did RoboCop. He did a bunch of movies, but the sequels sucked because he didn't direct them.
He wasn't the director.
So that's I think that's
maybe
pretty.
He wanted too much money.
I think that pays off to him. They need to have him back for the sequels because the second one and the third one were not good. The cartoon was good.
I don't think I ever even bothered to watch them just because I knew what they were.
Even the cartoon didn't go that well.
Yeah,
I think the cartoon was better in the second and better in the third one.
But that's not saying anything.
I don't even remember seeing the
because they were straight to box, straight to VHS.
Straight to VHS. That's right. Free DVD.
Yeah, totally.
So, well, anyway, but they they did some of the highlights that every successful movie needs, right? They got the gratuitous sex, they have the gratuitous violence,
which is also a bonus.
That's right. Yeah. Let's see.
Stuff you hadn't seen before, like a monster sucking out somebody's brain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up there with aliens popping out of chests and
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And was it me or did that brain bug look like it was a ripoff from your favorite movie, Dune?
Yeah, it did kind of have
brain bug. Kind of looked like a worm.
It did kind of have that and the Geiger-esque quality to it.
I like the scene. I like the scene during where they captured the brain bug and they're about to stick that probe up as whatever that thing is. The sign pops up. Censored.
I'm not going to say what it looked like, but it looked like a vajayjay.
Oh, yeah, the JJ.
I was going to bring up a South Park the movie reference. I'll let that one let.
Yeah, you might as well.
That was pretty fun.
But,
man.
you know, that was part of the fun thing. And they actually did release a version of Starship Troopers that had all those parts uncensored for you.
Oh, good. Good to know that there's another version.
Yes, they did.
I'll wait another 50 years to watch it.
Again?
Huh?
What's the other reason for watching this movie more than once?
I've seen it like 40 times just because it's a fun action movie. I mean, if you think about it, it has some really great...
I was feeling ashamed to say 4.
No wonder your brain's burnt out.
See, I love this movie. I mean, it has some very strange, quotable lines. Like, you see people who like it. One of the things they'll repeat is, you know, was it Whiskey Tango, this is Roughneck 2-0 on Tac 3. You know, it's just a great, fun movie.
Say that.
I have actually known a couple.
Now
people.
I was kind of curious. Were they trying to steal you know, from Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders?
Yeah.
That's what always made me think of when they were sitting there, like Rico's Roughnecks.
That's right, Rico's Roughnecks.
You notice that was Carver from The Wire?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Seth Gillum. Yeah, like a lot of these guys who were in this movie, a lot of them, not all of them, went on to at least star in something big, whether it was a TV series for a long period of time or another big box office movie, or previously been in things that were
Let's
big.
just say some.
Yeah, some. I was going to say, you know...
By the way, did you just not hear? I said some.
Okay.
Do we need to bring up Casper Van Dien and Dina Meyer?
Well, because you had people here.
Not even to mention Jake Busey, who actually did something with his career, but not very much.
Yeah, like you know, like the list I quoted from the beginning. You had Clancy Brown, Seth Gillum, who was on The Wire, Rue McClanahan, Neil Patrick Harris, Dean Norris, Robert David Hull, and Amy Smart. So you have people
There are some, but very few.
But this is a
How many fucking stars do you want in your movies, James?
Hey, all of them! I'm going to put all of them in there. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. You know,
go back and do the...
can you go with the sound effects now?
Post, Rob.
We're live, so I got to do it now. So don't fight with me, you know?
So
that was well timed.
I loved the ships on this thing were pretty funny. I loved it kind of reminded me of Spaceballs, that thing that popped up and you hit the emergency maneuver button or whatever. It had vaguely it reminded me of Spaceballs.
Yeah, I got you on that. Yeah,
it was just that goofy. I mean, I'm watching this with my girlfriend who'd never seen this before. And I told her, look, the only thing you got to know about this was made right in the middle of the 90s, so that's what to expect from it. When Denise Richards was piloting the ship and it blew up, like the bridge blew up,
right,
thus exposing everybody to the dangers of space. And then she's dead, right? I'm like, well, you saw what happened. She's like, okay, and just put it out of her mind. And then she shows up with a little scar over her eyebrow. The look on her face, I should have taken a picture. Is priceless, man.
I mean, we all know she makes a great nuclear engineer.
She was the best pilot ever.
Yeah,
she was
best
born
pilot
to be the pilot.
Yeah.
and
being the best pilot ever, you know, makes you impervious to the vacuum and cold effect.
Exactly. And physics don't apply to you.
And I love how Starship...
the explosion that seemed to engulf the bridge, if you will.
And I love how Starship and the Troopers still need in the future steering wheels and windows. Yeah. Apparently, they didn't learn anything from Star Trek. I mean,
no, they hadn't gotten to that point yet. Yeah. You're right.
And I want to know what that spinning thing in the back of the captain's chair was.
It was the radar.
Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've wanted to know for years.
Yeah.
It's like that would, you know, they need that black guy from Spaceballs. Bing, bing,
yeah.
Bing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They jammed it.
Jeez.
Raspberry.
I hate raspberry. So what was your favorite scene in this movie, Ryan?
Shit.
Wait.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're getting discerning about our language. I don't know. There's a lot of just goofy scenes. Probably the guy's brain getting sucked out again. I mean, just random things that you haven't seen before, but it's those things that you like. Oh shit, you haven't seen that part where the guy's brains get sucked out of his head? Let me go YouTube that right now.
The clear tube part makes that scene best when you hear the.
You know what's really funny about that scene? That's almost the only one I really remember in vivid detail. It's like, it's the brain-sucking part.
But because what other movie have you seen where they're sucking someone's brain out through the top of their skull?
Now, were you all waiting for Michael Ironside to lick his fingers after he stuck it in that guy's head? Okay, now, because I was seriously expecting him to do that. Every time I watch this movie, I'm like, dude, lick it. Lick it. I know you want to.
Bug guts.
But the other one that stuck out to me is the American Gladiators training scene.
Oh, yeah.
And old American Gladiators, none of that reboot shit.
Is that the one where he does that backflip and hits everybody with those lasers?
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll get you. Yeah. Oh, and the farm boy the farm boy who died, who was on like Major League 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Major League 2.
He was.
He was.
He played the catcher who couldn't throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless he was thinking of Playboy. Love that movie.
It's true. Watch it. Let's see. I think for me, my all-time favorite scene is probably still the Whiskey Tango. Just the bug scenes and all that are hilarious, and that whole planet on there is probably my favorite scene.
You know what's funny though? In some respects, as much as we're making fun of that, some of the effects were actually pretty cool.
It was actually really well done.
I mean, when you looked at those huge fields of bugs, all those fucking bugs, I'm thinking, oh my God, where's my can of Raid?
Right there.
Oh.
Oh
my! Where's my can of Raid?
I was gonna say, I was actually thinking that, and I was watching it. There's, like most movies today, like the CGI stands out and it's very obvious. There wasn't a lot of the CGI on this one that didn't. There were some, but didn't really stand out. The one that really stood out was they were in that area where the flying bug was.
Yeah.
And the canyon area. That was the only one that really stood out. Everything else to me was like, wow, that really blends well. It's like Jurassic Park.
When you got close up to like when they stabbed Denise Richards and through the shoulder, you can kind of catch a couple of seconds there. But this was right about the time that like Jurassic Park was coming out.
No, Jurassic Park's been out for a while.
In '94, right?
Grainy effect where it still looked a little more tangible.
Yeah, there was a lot of handmade sets.
For 4 years.
The only thing I could think of, how cool would it have been to be a set builder on that thing?
That was okay. That's the one thing I want to point out.
Total Recall.
Is the difference between this one and I think the one that was released right after this, wasn't it Marauders? Starship?
Yeah.
Troopers and Marauders? Yeah. The difference between what they did with that and what they did with Marauders is like night and day. It's like you went back to like the 60s in comparison. Because, I mean, they did build a set. Now, they did build a set in Marauders, but it was not even remotely to the standards that they set with this one.
Yeah.
And that was always my issue.
The funniest thing about this movie is their uniforms have been used in a ton of movies. Matter of fact, I think they're even used in Firefly, if not mistaken.
Nice.
I thought weren't they
were
used in that new one, the Nazis in Space movie that we watched?
I think they were too.
I really like Neil Patrick
Red
Harris's
Skies
uniform.
or whatever.
Iron Sky.
Iron Sky.
I like Neil Patrick's uniform. He has a really long trench coat.
If you haven't known, he loves men in uniform.
So does Neil Patrick Harris.
It's a cool outfit. This is before he came out, too.
Like I said, he likes men in uniform.
I guess if I had to pick a scene, I would have to go with, it's the rodeo scene where he's riding the bug.
Oh, the tanker, yeah.
Just because, I mean, just how random all of a sudden that becomes, and he just is all of a sudden, I'm the hero, Yeah. Sorry, Ryan?
I loved how he kept getting promoted.
He had a really good balance on that thing.
But, that's
because he was captain of the team.
That's right.
That was one of the scenes that
he was not the one giving the orders in the football scene.
I would like to nominate this movie for an award, though, if it pleases the court. Most bullets fired without a reload.
Absolutely.
And matter of fact, There's a note on.
There was one scene.
Yeah, I was going to say there is one
scene.
That was the whiskey. That was the base whiskey tank.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it had to do with like the plot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I think I read somewhere that they used more bullets on this movie, like ammunition, than any movies at the period of time.
I believe it.
Didn't you see that one little newsreel where the guys were handing out bullets? They get bullets at a young age. They save them up.
As kids. They get to have them as kids. Here, have some bullets. Oh, play with my gun. Go ahead.
I did like that. That was one of the scenes that always made me laugh.
I really did expect one of the kids to shoot one of the other kids.
And the
that's cool.
The other point we had one of our viewers. Yes, we have a viewer. Sweet.
What?
Was he pointed out the lashes for punishment?
Yes.
Rico screwed up. Corporal punishment. And my girlfriend pointed out that the thing that he hit that made his hands go up is actually a dental. It's one of the dental things. You know, that removes the chair up and down. It does things.
Oh, okay.
This is where one of the set pieces is from.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Which I always thought was cool when you can recognize, hey, I know that.
That was one of those scenes, you know, one of those harken back to the old Navy days, the British naval vessels where he's being flogged for being bad.
Yeah.
I remember after this happened, you hear... I remember after that this movie came out, you started hearing people, we need to go back to corporal punishment.
But now I got a point to point out is that, you know, getting one of your squad members killed during a training exercise is only a flogging offense, but to veer off of your mission is, you know, you get shot.
Yeah, it proves the violence of the society. So what do you give this movie, Ryan?
I have to give it a 3. I mean, if I'd seen this for the first time yesterday, I'd probably give it a 2. But like, what? I don't. This is falling flat of what I would expect from a movie. But it grows on you over time. You watch it and you're like, I don't know if I like that movie, and then like 3 weeks later, you're like, kind of want to watch that movie again.
It's like the movie The Jackal.
I agree. I agree with Ryan on that one.
So what do you give this movie then?
Well, you know, I was like, this is a 2. I mean, this is freaking 2. And then I started thinking about it, and then we started talking about it, and you kind of go, you know, there were some cool scenes in it. As a whole, I think it's a stinking 2, but as bits and pieces, it's a 3.
So James.
There are a lot of memorable things about this movie, and I've seen this movie quite a bit. I watched it when it came out. I didn't actually go and see it in the theater, but
I did.
Shh, we know. So, anyways, I'd
like to thank the Academy.
I'm waiting for the applause to die down. Anyway, okay,
thank you. Smattering of applause.
But you know, I think I agree with you guys. It's. You know, on the watchability, how many times I've actually watched this movie, and I will probably watch it a couple more times before I die, is, you know, to say, you know, that's quite saying something. So, you know, it's a good 3. It's a strong 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you don't take it serious.
Yeah.
If you take it just as pure fun... Yeah. And you look at the parts of it.
The second you see the advertisements, you have to.
Oh yeah.
So I guess this proves how I kind of like bad campy movies.
4.
I'm giving it a 4 to 5, just because out of all the years I've watched this movie still. By the way,
that's appropriate.
By the way, the sound effect's probably going to get yanked from YouTube. Can you stop that?
Hey,
he was working on it.
You know, this movie's campy. It's fun. It's one of those movies that just, you know, if it's on, I'll always watch it. It always brings a smile on my face. And it has not only one of my favorite actors, but a list full of bad actors. Denise Richards
Jake
being
Busey.
one of them, and Jake Busey. So, you know, for me, it's a 4 to 5. And next, we're going to talk about the Band of Brothers episode 10 points.
Sorry for Jake Busey. You know, I kind of feel bad for him. It's just he can't help the genes that he's got. You know, and
I
thought
we can talk.
He wasn't a bad actor, really.
No, he's not.
Dude, those teeth are the only reason he has a career.
That's true.
Too bad he probably got them from a horse.
But his dad. I mean, look at his dad.
So it's going to talk about episode 10. So I guess, you know, one of the things that I'll talk about is the Nixon at Huring Göring's house, and the wall for makes all alcoholics jealous.
Oh,
you know,
all the champagne.
Can you imagine actually? Just think for a second, walking into that room. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would blow your mind.
Especially when
And the whole Eagle's Nest, that whole area was just so opulent. And,
not many soldiers in that war had that kind of a payoff. You know what I mean? And not to say a payoff, but all that shit that you go through, and then you actually kind of get to see like wow, this is what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
The whole time get here.
And if there was,
now, I mean, it's just like a marking point of like, wow,
totally.
It's war now.
And if there was ever a reason to drink, being in World War II would be a good reason.
Yeah.
Hey, if there was ever a reason to steal silverware.
Yeah, silverware, solid gold silverware.
The other one was, I was always impressed at the end of this movie is when Winter said, I'm volunteering to go early to Japan. That always was like, wow. Because he's helping all his, because you know the back of his head, he's like trying to get all his other guys out, but he decided, I'm volunteering for, to go to this group.
Look how much he changed. I mean, he went on to saying, you know what, I'm going to make the Army my career, and I'm going to do that, so I've got to go to Japan, I got to do this stuff. And then, there was their general there that was interviewing him and saying, you don't really need to go anymore. You've done as much as you need to do. And then in the end, he ends up not staying in the Army. I thought that whole quick little transition was something, but we're not really supposed to be talking about this in detail, are we?
It said it. Sorry.
What we'll do is that's kind of a tease.
No, I don't think Ryan...
Get your point out, right?
Let Ryan make his point.
Well, I was going to just kind of piggyback on Rob's point. He said it earlier, like, if I'm going, I'm getting this over with early.
Yeah.
I'm getting this over with now. I want to go now.
And with that being said, stay tuned to next week where we do talk about Band of Brothers
in depth,
1 through 10, in depth, what we loved, what we hated, and why we think it's as good as it actually is.
Right.
And want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I hope there's ladies and gentlemen watching. We do have a Facebook page.
Hi, ladies.
Tell us what you think. Do you think us suck? Do you think we suck like the Wing Commander Forum, or is there something movies you'd like us to do?
I love you.
And do you think there's something, a movie or something you think us to do, or for we to review, or a theme? Also, do us a favor, go to the Old Guy Tech website and donate a couple of bucks.
Would you?
Pay for the cause.
Would you let me?
Hey, Rob, make him stop using the sound effects.
Oh, you guys are loving it. It's gonna make. We're gonna get such great ratings now that we've added sound effects.
I highly doubt that.
I get it. Hey, just on a serious note, I want to take a serious note for a moment, going back as the old guy here. I want to say how sad I am that Joan Rivers has passed away. Now, I grew up with Joan Rivers being she broke into comedy. Her and Phyllis Diller were the only two women in
Phyllis
comedy.
Diller was hilarious.
Ever.
Joan Rivers.
And Joan Rivers, you got to remember, Johnny Carson made Joan Rivers who she is. She was the permanent host for Johnny Carson when Johnny took his time off.
And then she got permanently banned from the Tonight Show.
Well, okay, so it was. She and Johnny didn't take it well when she got her own show. So that doesn't.
She
that's
went
bad
on a competing network
Fox.
at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? That's bad on Johnny Carson. She had a right to promote her career and move on.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, love or hate the woman. I know a lot of people knocked her, but a woman in that industry to get to where she was and to be an example for other women in comedy was major. It's it's easy to look it over, make fun of her and her everything she did, but she will be missed. She was an icon in the industry, and Joan, I'm sorry that you're gone, and I hope Melissa, the daughter, I wish the best for you, your son, and the family.
And you're going to kick into the other part of movie news, and I'm trying to decide to do two, so I'll see how fast I can do this. One, another Star Wars character, a classic character, may get his own standalone movie. It might be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not sure if that's even exciting, but there may be a chance for him to get his own by the mouse since they're trying to milk Star Wars more than George Lucas.
Does this be a prequel?
They should have
I'm
done
assuming
Yoda.
It's going to be a sequel from the first,
Yoda, the early years.
I'm assuming it's going to be
because he's already in the other.
Well, no, it's going to be after. I'm assuming it's going to be after 1, 2, and 3, and after the Clone Wars. It'll probably be between that and when Episode 4 came out.
I don't care. It's all cool. I'll see it.
And the other one is Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass returning for Bourne 5. There's a possibility that Jason Bourne may come back, along with Jeremy Renner's character. We'll have a film later sometime afterwards. So that'll be interesting to see how how that happens. Since I think Robert Ludlum only wrote a couple of books.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they're out of books.
It's okay.
But man, the combination of Greengrass and Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to do something bad.
Yeah.
I actually think if Greengrass would had been in that directed that movie, the Jeremy Renner's version would have been a lot better.
I'm sure.
I love, and it wouldn't have had that hour and a half unneeded chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like Jeremy Renner too.
I do too.
I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, but I agree with you with the chasing thing. It got to a point where it was like Rambo's knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. And where do we go?
okay. We do have a question here coming up. So, Bond or Bourne?
Oh shit, Bourne? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I was gonna say
Just
Bourne.
as far as I've never seen that kind of a realistic take. But then you get to the Casino Royale and stuff like that, and it's everything.
So there's one
I think it's
amazing
too
Bond
different.
movie.
I think they're too different. I mean, I really do. I'm Bourne all the way, but Bond, when growing up with Bond, Goldfinger, Doctor, all of that, he was so cool. I mean, he was really cool.
But I mean, for his time, he was cool. And you are right; they are two different things. But I think if you take them at face value of what's what, you gotta side with Bourne, because Bourne is more realistic than Bond is. He's not really gadget oriented like Bond.
Yeah, and it has its moments of that it gets into the realm of plausibility and stuff like that.
True.
But the way I see it is Bond got me into the espionage genre of film, the spy films, and I'll never ever forget that. You know what I mean? But this is what I wanted to see as an adult.
Okay,
it's stuff like Bourne.
I would
agree.
I would say I like both. I do think the only Bond that was close to Jason to the Bourne identity was probably Casino Royale. Even after that, they weren't really. They
went
match.
back towards.
And I would say, far as which one do you like better? As we're closing up the show, which series do you like better, Bond or Bourne? Because for me, I love both, so I can't really choose.
Are we talking about just the like?
Well, then you're asking us to choose, but you can't choose.
I'm saying you can't.
Wait a minute.
This was another question from our viewers.
Yeah, well, viewers.
7.
We got more than one viewer tonight?
I'm assuming so.
We have 7.
We know there's only one.
So, I love both. I really do. I love the kind of the goofiness
Well, then
and
if you
kitschiness
can't
of
make
Bond.
up your mind, I can't make up my mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna say how are you gonna get us to make a stick?
You're the
But
host.
if I actually had to, if I really had to, I'd have to go with Bond. The new Bond.
The blonde Bond.
Oh, boy.
Because you get the gadgets. Those are the fun tools.
Yeah, and you have the nostalgia. You have everything you remember as a kid and stuff like that. But
if Bourne makes it 50 years like Bond did, then maybe you'll have the same.
That's a good point. But it's not like there was this one genius writing 40 books.
Well, with Bond, you always knew there was going to be a cool car. There were going to be cool gadgets. There was going to be a cool girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you had all the
for
makings.
Except for Denise Richards being a nuclear
Oh,
physicist,
geez.
which is ridiculous.
Denise Richards alone. Leave her in her grave.
Pierce Brosnan movies. Can we just erase those from our memory?
Yeah, let's go back to Roger Moore, Sean Connery,
Yes,
Timothy Dalton. Come on. Yeah.
Well, we're extremely off track here.
Anyways, it was your fault.
So next week
This is the news. Off track of what?
Yeah.
So next week, besides doing the Band of Brothers specific episode, we're also going to be doing a movie that week, and it'll be 2 different episodes, and it is his turn.
And since we're doing different movies, this one is just whatever we want to pick. I'm actually going with Funny People, made in 2009.
I remember my mom's comment about that movie.
Your mom watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's the movie I think it is.
Funny People?
Funny People.
It's with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Do you think this movie was going to get a low rating?
Just wait till I bring the soundboard out for that movie.
Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave Starship Troopers a 4 to 5 because I think it deserves it. James gave it a 3 to 5. Ryan gave it a 3 out of 5. Rob gave it a 3 out of 5. And as always, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Woohoo!